The second one was the tomb of Iltutmish somewhere here and his screens. And now we have just walked behind the screen into this courtyard where it all started from. And this is where you have the iron pillar, and the Qutub complex is just outside. The Qutub Minar is just outside this courtyard. Thanks. Now, this mosque is the first congregation mosque we've had in the Indian subcontinent. So the first time Muhammad Ghori's armies come in and they defeat Prithviraj Chauhan, this is where they settle down. This is where Qutbuddin Aibak becomes the king, and he decides this is where he starts constructing. This is the first attempt at any sort of monumental construction by these new rulers. And the first thing they needed apparently was a mosque. But the problem is, because they've just come in, they don't really have the bureaucracy and the logistics to be able to carry out such a project. If you're trying to make monumental complexes, palaces, etc., you have to have that kind of logistics with you to be able to command these resources. But then if you've just come in, you can't really do that. So the easiest thing to do is plunder and destroy whatever, use the existing material. So whatever is on site, after all, they have used Prithviraj Chauhan's palaces, his capital, to start working as their headquarters. So they start and build this mosque using the material taken from temples both of Hindus and Jains, which existed on this site, dismantled them and used the same construction material to create the mosque. And that is why it looks more like a temple. It uses all the architectural features of a temple. These are all pillars taken from the temple complexes. And this is not just one temple. They said that there were around 27 temples here, both of Hindus and Jains, and this material is taken from there. Domes are taken, you'll see it as we go further. Pillars are taken, and this is not a single pillar. It's a mix and match of more than one. So the base might be from somewhere else, they then put something else on top of it. Then this shaft is from another pillar, and so on. So they did that, but the problem is that these are full of sculptures, and the idea is not to have sculptures in your buildings. So what do? You deface them. So for instance, this image here, you can see that it has been chipped off, and all images, all features of faces, etc. would all be chipped off, and then they were plastered over before they were reused here. So the way we see it now, it looks rather nice, but that was not the intention. Yeah? The intention was to chip it off and cover it up so that it serves their purpose without offending their sensibilities. And this is what you see in the entire complex around you. All these pillars. I mean, you can... No, that's only stone. The plaster has long come off. So you don't see the plaster now, but you can still see the defacement of human images.
All of this was completely plastered.
Yeah, all of it was plastered over, just to hide it.
And by what?
It's fairly intense. So what?
Using what?
Somebody is taking
Plaster comes out. Plaster comes out easily. And it's like what? Early 13th century. So
to an extent that it's now as good as it was.
yeah. So this is pretty much the original stone as it was carved in for the temples. The plaster is gone. The defacement is here, but the plaster is gone. You can see all kinds of temple motifs. This is the kalash again, the earthen pot. And many of these stone pieces which had stories from Indian mythology, etc. When of course they were defaced, but also because they decided that they didn't want to, they wanted to reuse every bit. What they did, most of the time, some of these pieces of stone, when they were put in, the side which was carved in was put on the other side. And on the back of it, where it was plain, they put Quranic verses and other sorts of calligraphy. So because they wanted to use each and every bit and piece of that stone. So at some places here, if you look carefully, you'll see that So somewhere hidden inside there's, legs of somebody who was carved up there. This bit mostly has remains of the Hindu temples. That corner has remains of some Jain temples. And this is an example of an original ceiling taken from a temple. It's just lifted and put here. At the corners of the mosque, there's a portion which is like a second story. Yeah, just above this. This has been considered to be the Zanana section, the area exclusively reserved for women. An interesting thing about the pillars here, you can see that they all look similar. They are plain with the capitals and the bases only carved up. These pillars have numbers, and you can read some of them. They are easy to spot. So, for instance, this is the number 4 here. The number is given in the Nagari script, in which we write Hindi today, with the alphabet of the word. Like for instance, this is Char. Char is 4 in Hindi. So the first alphabet of Char, Ch, is given here. This is Ch and this is 4. This is the numeric one, and this is the alphabet of the language. So there are other pillars, and they total 19. The numbers are 19. And there was a chap called Alexander Cunningham. He was the first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. And he travelled extensively and wrote a lot on monuments in India, especially Buddhist monuments. His guess was that these belong to a single temple, which would have had about 20 pillars. So if you notice carefully, there are more inscriptions. Some of them have dates. Some of them has names of masons who worked on it. Artisans who worked on these have actually scribbled their names. So there are masons' marks also on these. So for instance, this one is 3. Yeah, this is 3. Yeah, this is also 3.
They could have marked a copyright as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's another one.
Both 11 and 12.
Exactly, yeah. So all these, they are masons' marks all over. Besides numbers, they are marks of masons as well. This is Bara, I think 1124. Yeah. And this is a date given in Vikram Samvat. I don't know if that date was inscribed then or it's just a random graffiti, but it's if it was carved back then this makes it contemporary to the time of the Tomars in Delhi at this area. And this is where they had their capital initially. And you can see the Jain images over here. This one here.
So who's constructed this compound?
Same, yeah. This is Kutubuddin Aibak's.
So this was also domed originally, or this was
The domes are very shallow. It's like this. It's like a conical plastering on the top. So it's not actually the skyline which you see in other Islamic monuments. It's a little different. These are just makeshift domes, you could say.